Hello, friends. I am Chevy. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. It's kind of late here today. I mean, it's not late. It's early evening, but that's late for doing the show. Normally, I've done this at lunchtime, and it's already been uploaded. But I got busy today. I took today off. I don't know if I told you that last week. I get tomorrow off because it's primary election day here. And since I work in the education sector, I get tomorrow off. So I was like, if I'm going to take a random Tuesday off, I'm just going to take a 4-day weekend, which is what I did. And I had no real plan to do anything. Like, I can kind of do whatever I want. Em still has to work both days, so she doesn't get to take the day off. So it's not like I'm going to go, we're going to go somewhere or have a trip or whatever. I don't have the kids. So I got to do whatever. And that came down here and worked. I got the top to the router table. I think you can kind of see that. I got it all trimmed out, flushed up, sanded. I got the first coat of finish on it, so that's doing good. I made my first ever frame and panel door. I've never made one of these before. I've never had a need for one of these. I've never really done custom cabinets. Not my thing. And if I've done drawer fronts, they've been solid fronts. I've never really made this kind of door or drawer front. Screwed it up. I'll put some pictures in. If you don't know how these doors are made, like on your kitchen cabinets, these are just 4 sticks of wood that are the same width, same thickness. The outside strips, well, all 4 of these pieces actually, have a groove cut in the middle of them, all the way down the middle. That allows this panel to sit in here, and this panel is kind of free-floating in there. And then what you do is because these outside pieces are full length, you just cut them to whatever the length needs to be to fit the cabinet. And then you cut this piece, the distance between the centers here, and then you add the depth of that groove, and then you cut what's called it's probably called a tongue in this instance. I wouldn't necessarily call this a mortise. This is more like a tongue and groove. You cut a tongue, and then you put it all together. So in the pictures, hopefully you can kind of see what I'm talking about. I screwed up when I made this. I thought I had some 1/4-inch plywood. I have 3/16 plywood. So I used my 1/4-inch box joint blade and just cut this thing 1/4-inch. First of all, these pieces are undersized, so these aren't exactly 3/4 of an inch, and so that 1/4-inch groove is not centered in this piece, which meant when it came time to make these pieces and make that tongue, it was really fiddly. I had to really dial that in, and I went, instead of trying to get it cut perfect on the table saw, I cut it and then set with a chisel and hand fit each of these joints. And so they're not perfect, but they're good enough for a shop cabinet. This is going to be the door where the router will be behind this door. So it's a shop cabinet. I'm actually going to cut or drill some holes down here for air relief so that the vacuum can actually suck air through this thing. So for a cabinet door and for my first ever frame and panel door, I think it turned out okay. The other screw up that I did was I realized because of this panel in here, I couldn't make the door and then do some sort of routing profile on this inside edge, and I didn't want the inside edge to be just sharp. I wanted to put some sort of profile, so I got a chamfer bit out and I chamfered this. Well, I wasn't thinking, because again, I hadn't done this before. When you chamfer this long piece, I should have stopped the chamfer here and here. Instead, I just went and just chamfered the whole thing. And then when I put it together, I had this side nice little bevel and this side was flat. And I said, oh, that's disgusting. That doesn't look correct at all. So I took these pieces and chamfered the edges. I have seen this sort of thing before on older cabinets, from the 80s. It's kind of an old style, but for some shop furniture that was a learning project, I don't really care. There's glue in those grooves, which I need to chisel out, and I need to touch up some of that because I made that on a sander, so it's not flat. Anyway, the point is, This was a learning experience, and what I got out of it is a pretty decently square, well-made door front. And all I need to do now is figure out how to use the cup hinges that I bought. This will be an inset door. Use the cup hinges that I bought to make this thing actually open. And then drill some holes and put some finish on it. So, you know, it was a productive day. I did that. Cut the grass, weed eated, did some weed killing. I sprayed weed killer. Cleaned up in here, got the rolling cabinet out of my way. So, I did a good bit of work today, and then went and did grocery shopping. Because I am the cook, I do the grocery shopping. And actually, Em went with me, But, all in all, for a day I didn't have a plan for, I got a lot done. And I think we're probably going to go for a motorcycle ride later. Enjoy this nice weather. We have no, kid activities tonight. Track is over. We have a few soccer games left. Yeah, I think it's going to be good. So, what'd you do? Did you do anything exciting this weekend? This weekend, we had my youngest. My oldest came over Friday night and spent some time with us, and then went back home. We got to see M's parents on Saturday and had lunch and hung out. And then yesterday I took my youngest back early to be with their mom for Mother's Day, and I went and sat with my mom. Well, Em went with me. We went and spent some time with my mom for Mother's Day, and then played some video games and just kind of chilled. It has been a very long time since I've played a board game. And there's a soccer game Wednesday night, but I think I'm just going to skip it. I think I'm just going to go to board game night because I have not been in a very, very, very long time. So we'll see. I haven't talked to my kid about that yet. What have you been up to? Anything exciting? Let me know. I'm excited to have gotten some workshop stuff done. Yeah. Let me know what's going on in your world. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is malleable. It is an adjective meaning easily molded into different shapes, easily influenced to change one's opinion or actions. I did not know that mankind was suffering for want of gold. I have seen a little of it. I know that it is very malleable, but not so malleable as wit. Henry David Thoreau, an American author and transcendentalist. Malleable. M-A-L-L-E-A-B-L-E. I know I've commented on this before, but I think the person who wrote this book has some sort of intense desire for Henry David Thoreau.